Hello, Christina here with NursingSchoolofSuccess.com. Today in this video, we are talking about how to study for final exams in nursing school because we're coming up on finals. I want to walk you through the top 3 study mistakes that I see nursing students make. So this week, because we are coming up on final exams, I have received tons of emails from students asking about how to study for finals, needing encouragement and motivation because it's really tough to know what to study and to not freak out about it. So it's nice that I'm able to hold your hand through nursing school. So I'm glad that I got so many emails and was able to help those students. So I wanted to walk you through some of the top emails that I've been getting from students this week. So the first one, the number one, is that there is just so much information to learn that you get so overwhelmed and you just quit. So that is the number one study mistake that I have seen this week. Nursing students emailing me saying, oh my gosh, Christina, I'm so overwhelmed. I have no idea what to study and I just don't want to do it anymore. I just want to crawl in a corner and cry and stay in bed all day. I think that's all you want to do. So I totally get it. I feel overwhelmed sometimes too, and that is how I feel. I just want to stay in bed all day, right? And eat ice cream and watch Friends reruns. I mean, that sounds like the life. So in nursing school, it can be tough to figure out exactly what to study. So to decrease that overwhelm, I want to walk you through some things to focus on. Now, for this, I do have a free med-surg study checklist for you to download. I'll link it up down below in the description for this video. Totally free, totally awesome. So you will definitely want to download that and print it off and use it as you're studying med-surg in nursing school. So the 4 key components that you've got to focus on when you are studying med-surg is pathophysiology, signs and symptoms, nursing intervention, and nursing assessment. So those are the 4 key components of learning med-surg disorders that you've got to focus on. What's the pathophysiology? What are the common signs and symptoms that you've got to know? What is the nursing assessment? What will you assess for in your patients? And what are the nursing interventions that you'll do about it? So in the link below, there is that med-surg study checklist, totally free, and I walk you through those 4 key components to study in more detail. I've also got a YouTube video that I just recorded 2 days ago that will go deeper into each of those 4 key components that you'll totally want to check out that video. So definitely check that out on YouTube. So that is for when you're studying med-surg. You definitely want to study those 4 key components because really when you look back or think back to your nursing school exams for med-surg, those are really the 4 key things that you're going to be tested on. So you've got to know them. So if you're feeling totally overwhelmed in med-surg right now, definitely just, girlfriend, focus on those 4 key things and that will really help you be more successful. Now, if you're not in your med-surg classes right now, if you're studying things like fundamentals or fluid and electrolytes or pharmacology, here's what I always tell students to really decrease overwhelm. So you've got to study what your professors talk about in class. That is number 1. So I know that students do sometimes tell me that okay, their instructor pulled out one small little sentence from their textbook and tested them on it. Sure, that can happen. That's happened to me, of course, but that is not going to be the bulk of your exam. The bulk of your nursing school exam is going to be what your professors talked about in class, what was on your lecture modules or your study aids or your study guides or whatever they give you. You know, your professors give you a ton of stuff, right? All those supplemental materials and the things you've got to know. So your professors outline for you what you need to know about to succeed on their exams. They either wrote your exam or they've seen it so they know what's on it. So you've got to trust them and really listen to what they're saying in class. And then here's what I recommend is that when you go home to read and study those things, read in your textbook, focus on these sections in your textbook that your professor talked about in class. So don't read every single word on every single page, on every single chapter in your textbook. No. That would take you 1,000 years to do, right? That is, you don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So focus on reading the sections of the textbook that your professors talked about in class. That is totally my rule, and this is what I tell nursing students, and they've had so much success with it. So to decrease that overwhelm, read the sections of the textbook that your professors talked about in class or outlined in those modules or the study aids or whatever other supplemental materials that they give you. That will really greatly decrease what you've got to study or what you need to focus on, and will really help you focus on what you need to study for your final exam. Now, that is mistake number one that I see nursing students make, is they get so overwhelmed with everything that they've got to study that they just quit. Your brain just kind of shuts down. You look at that whole long to-do list and you just quit. So those are my tips to get through that one. Definitely focus on those 4 key things for Med-Surg if you're in Med-Surg: pathophysiology, signs and symptoms, nursing interventions, and nursing assessment. And then if you are in other classes like fundamentals or pharmacology or things like that, study the parts of the textbook or things what your professor talked about in class. So study what your professors talked about in class, just those topics. Read them in the book and study them, as you go. Now, the second mistake that I see nursing students make all the time, and I received several emails to this effect this week, is, Christina, I feel like I'm walking that line and that I'm going to fail anyway, so I don't even want to try. It's not even worth studying for finals and even putting the effort in because I know that I'm going to fail anyway. So here's what I want to say to you about this, is that is stress, that is fear, and that is anxiety. And those are things that we don't want here. So these are things like, this has not come true yet. I know you feel like you're walking that line, but that does not mean that you are going to fail. That does not mean that you're going to fail. So even though you feel like you're going to fail, that's your anxiety, that's your fear, that's not reality. You don't know if you're going to fail or not. So if you don't give it your all, you're going to regret that forever. You see what I'm saying? So have you ever been in that situation where you're like, oh, if I had just done this, or if I had just given it my all, maybe things would be different? And it's true. Maybe they would be. So I really, really, really recommend that you pull yourself up by your bootstraps and do it, because this is what God created you to do. If you know in your heart and in your mind that you want to be the best nurse that you can possibly be, and that this is what you're here to do, then girlfriend, make it happen. Do not let your mind run wild with anxious thoughts and with fear and with stress telling you that you cannot succeed, because it's not true. It's not true. You can do anything that you set your mind to. So make sure that you are focused on what you need to study, that you stay motivated, keep encouraging yourself, and just keep going no matter what. So even though you feel like you might fail, it's not true. Keep going, keep going. Now, the third tip that I want to talk about with you is so this is another thing that I really see students. So the third tip, this is something that I see students having trouble with a lot, is working so hard and getting so anxious and so stressed that you forget to take care of yourself. So you forget to drink water, you forget to eat, and you forget to sleep. So I really recommend that you make yourself a priority, or you're going to walk into your exam and you're going to be so tired and so stressed that you're not going to do very well. So really make sure that you are staying hydrated, that you're eating, that you're sleeping well. So just keep going. Make sure you get, at least 8 hours of sleep if that's what you need, longer if you need it. Make sure that you're staying hydrated, making sure that you're eating so that you have the mental capacity to really succeed on your exam, that you're setting yourself up for success. So you know that nursing school exams are all about critical thinking, right? So nursing school exams, you're going to get case scenarios. You are going to need to critically think through those things. So make sure that you are getting enough sleep so that you can actually use your mind and critically think through your exams. This is what nursing school is all about. So if you don't get sleep, or if you're not hydrated, or if you don't have time to eat, then you are not setting yourself up for success. You're going to walk into your exam, you're going to be so tired, and you're not going to be thinking straight. So you're really setting yourself up for failure at that point. So you really have to make sure that you are eating right, staying hydrated, and getting enough sleep. So I hope that these tips helped you really come back, kind of roll back, kind of settle down, and have more motivation and encouragement and to keep going. Girlfriend, you can do it. Nursing school finals are hard. They are coming up, but you can succeed. I hope that these tips really helped you out to come decrease that overwhelm and to help you keep going. Now, like I said before, make sure that you download that MedSurge study checklist that we've got for you, totally free and totally awesome. It's going to help you walk you through step by step what you need to focus on in nursing school. So I linked that up down below in the description. Make sure that you snag it. You are going to love it. And I hope that helps. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope these tips helped, and we will chat soon. Take care. Bye.